Welcome back, my beloved people. Today, I'm gonna review the trade I took on Friday, and after that, I'm gonna review the charts for the coming week. Yeah, let's start with the trade I took on Friday. Unfortunately, I took a loss. I think it was completely avoidable, but before we get into detail, let's zoom in and see where I took my trades. And yeah, on Friday, I initially had a bullish bias because we had these perfectly engineered highs here. I wanted to see us either do a pullback without a internal manipulation for market open, and after that slowly grind our way back up, or what was also a possibility is we just continue higher, form some form of continuation, and then just long a possible setup. But yeah, instead we got a manipulation to market open paired with an SMT. So that looked far more bearish to me. And also we got also some nice and strong displacement to the downside. So my first idea was, yeah, okay, we're gonna rebalance back to this for our fair value gap. And yeah, I think if I just closed the charts after we tapped this one, I could have saved myself, but as you may see, we got some more displacement down through this fair value gap here, but without a close. That was the problem. My idea was then that we might retrace into this for our value gap. At the time we were about here, because I thought that we would just displace through this 4-hour FVJ, through this blue one, so we can retrace to this discounted fair value gap here. But the problem was we never had candle closes, so there was always a possibility, like here, like just like what happened to me, that we form a wick instead of displacement through. That's why we always wait for candle closures. Yeah, that was my problem right here inside this 50-minute FVJ. I thought that we could set some continuation trades to the downside. And to be honest, seeing this right now, I really can't believe that I've taken this trade, because, I mean, technically it looked right, but there's no narrative for this one because, like I said, we never closed below this 4-hour FVJ. The displacement, what I thought was displacement, was just the wick we were forming at the time. So yeah, my idea then was to set some continuations lower after we get a retracement into this 50-minute fair value gap here. And yeah, but what I really liked about this trade was how slowly we retraced inside this fair value gap. I mean, you can see we really slowly grinded our back way up, and also engineered some nice liquidity by doing that. And yeah, that to me was valid structurally. But yeah, like I said, narratively, there was no valid story, no valid backup to back this trade up. And yeah, I waited, we got a tap of the 15-minute FVJ, and then we got our, yeah, right here. We get our inverse fair value gap here. Bang. And also what I really liked about this is that we had perfectly equal lows here. besides the already existing long resistance liquidity. So right here I slapped shorts, bang, put my stop at the high, and then, yeah, got smoked. To be honest, technically, I mean internally it looked really nice. We had these equal lows, the stack, the low resistance liquidity to the downside, the inverse fair value gap, the internal manipulation. But as the 50-minute FVJ, as an area of resistance. But as I said, we never really inverse this for our FVJ. We wigged it, and that alone was a sign to not take a trade. And yeah, that was a deserved loss. There was no real reason to take this trade. Oh fuck, that was a fly, sorry guys. And also, what I forgot to mention is that we also tapped this fair value gap here. That also was a possible area to sponsor higher prices. And yeah, that was the trade I wanted to go over from Friday. And now we can look what the week ahead of us may give us. And yeah, finally we got the higher time frame retracement and the higher time frame manipulation of this ugly ass range here. We talked for so many weeks about that, and finally we got the manipulation. And also, yeah, not really, we didn't really get the tap of equilibrium of the range, but I mean it's close enough in my eyes. We also simultaneously got the tap of this, I call it now, discount weekly FVJ. I know it's not really a discount FVJ. This orange one is discounted, and absolutely, it would be absolutely better if we would have tapped this one instead of this one, because that would give us a lot more narrative for new structure higher. But that's good enough, I would say. I think you already have seen this pattern here. We got the accumulation here, the manipulation, which simultaneously tapped inside this weekly FVJ, and now what we are expecting is some distribution higher, which I mark in green. That's the idea, but it's nice. Yeah, we have our plan set, but there is some more confirmation we have to see before that. And the confirmation here would be this one. If we get a inverse fair value gap of this daily FVJ here, which will mark out in gray, and best case, if we also get a CISD at the same time. And I want to see that with some big, nice displacing candles. We get this structure in the daily time frame. I will be extremely bullish, and I will be extremely bullish with new all-time highs as strong liquidity. I will expect new all-time highs. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. But as long as we don't have this type of confirmation, there's still a possibility that we make a last dive lower inside the real discounted weekly FVJ, and then sorry guys, voice crack, and then deliver us to new all-time highs. That also would give us some internal manipulation here, and that could be a protected low then. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not much more going on here right now, because usually, you guys know me, usually I would take some form of internal price action inside this fair value gap here in consideration, but the problem is that it already has been tapped. As you guys see, we already tapped this one, so there's no real reason that we gonna tap this one, because the job is already done, so we don't have to tap this one. If this would have been untapped, I would have looked for longs if we would have gotten some confirmation higher. But right now, I mean, yeah, there are technically still these valid stacked highs, but I've seen that type of structure many times, that these type of situation where we have perfectly equal highs, but because it's already tapped, we don't see this one. So I'm gonna be a bit more patient here and gonna wait how we gonna print in the daily time frame. As long as we don't have this structure, I will be more defensive. I mean, this structure here. Structure which confirms bullishness in the daily time frame. I will be more defensive, trade on evals, not really risk my bonnet accounts. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Let's summarize. We have some type of narrative to be extremely bullish here. We have dire time frame retracement, manipulation, but we don't have the confirmation. The confirmation would be if we inverse this daily FVJ here and preferably get a CASD simultaneously above this high, above these down close candles with big displacement. That would be lovely, but as long as we don't have that, we are a bit more neutral, we are more careful. We unfortunately can't play some retracement trades because we have already tapped this daily fair value gap here. So longs from here are possible, yes, but they are not 100% backed by statistics. Yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Regarding the structure, we gotta be a bit more patient here. And let's take a look at the economic calendar. And as you guys see, the economic calendar looks perfect. I mean, we have the first Friday of the month, so we got an FP week, and that leads to a really colorful economic calendar. We have red folders on Monday, and also we got NFP Monday, so that is a high probability day, even though we don't have the structure yet to back up some high probability conditions. Tuesday as well is tradable, Wednesday as well. I would be a lot more careful on Thursday because it's a day before NFP, and these days tend to be a bit more choppy and low probability, so I will be sidelines on Thursday, and Friday I will gonna strike back and gonna try to captivate on the volatility given by the NFP data release after 8:30 a.m. Yeah, pretty nice week ahead. All days are tradable besides Thursday. I'm pretty optimistic for the coming time, especially if we get some form of confirmation. If we can get this confirmation early in the week, for example, Monday or Tuesday, that will set us up for the coming weeks with some pretty nice bullish PA in my eyes. But we're gonna see, we're gonna wait and see. And until then, trade safe, trade well, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.